In addition to red blood cells and white blood cells, there are very small particles in blood and they are called platelets. Now, what is their role? Imagine if you have had a cut by a blade or a knife, or you are wounded. What happens? Blood starts oozing out. But even if you do not apply any medicine, after some time there is a kind of blackish red solid thing formed and the bleeding stops. That is blood clot, and the process is called clotting of blood. Blood platelets are responsible for clotting of blood, and if there were no blood platelets, the bleeding would continue, and you can imagine what will then happen. Now, the blood has to flow, and for that it requires tubular passages called blood vessels. See, in our body there is a network of blood vessels, which means blood vessels branch and rebranch. But all blood vessels are not of same kind. Blood vessels can also be further classified as arteries, veins, and the connection between the two called capillaries. So, one by one we will take arteries, veins and capillaries. The blood vessels that take blood, which blood? Oxygenated blood. The blood vessels which carry oxygenated blood from heart to all parts of the body are called arteries. Now, these arteries, because they carry blood and this blood is under high pressure, so the flow of the blood is very fast and jerky, fast flow. Now, if there is fast flow and there is high pressure, then naturally if the walls are not strong, what will happen? Walls will burst. So, they have thick and elastic walls. If the walls will be thick, now see, this is an artery. If the walls are thick, how much of empty space is left? Only this much. And this is the cavity. Empty space is the cavity. And what is it called? Lumen. So, the direct fallout of thick wall is that small lumen. Arteries have a small lumen, right? Now, there is an advantage also of pressure. Because there is pressure, the blood keeps on flowing in one direction. There is no problem of coming back in the opposite direction, which problem we will see in veins. So, there are no valves. And because they carry oxygenated blood, they are red in color. But here also there is one variation. All arteries do not carry oxygenated blood. There is one special type of artery, the pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood from heart to lungs. And because it carries deoxygenated blood and the flow of blood is slow, it has valves. So, there are two variations in pulmonary artery. They have valves and they carry deoxygenated blood. But rest of the things, that is that they take blood from heart to other organ, that is lungs, is applicable in the pulmonary artery also. The arteries in general are very valuable because they carry oxygen rich blood. The blood is also flowing very fast. So, obviously, it has to be well protected. So, arteries are deep inside the muscles. They are deep seated inside the muscles. This is how arteries do their function.